Things Podcast. Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest episode of the Needless Things Podcast, where we talk about toys, movies, music, and all manner of pop culture dorkery. I am your host, Dave, and I am getting ready to head over to the in-laws for Thanksgiving dinner, which I am actually pretty excited about for once. It's not one of my super favorite holidays, but this year should be nice. And I hope all of you who are listening after Thanksgiving had a great time that was low on trauma and high on carbohydrates. If you're listening when this drops, it's Black Friday. I hope you're driving around, having fun, looking for deals. But mainly, you know, for me, Black Friday is spending time when I'm not working, which I will be this weekend. So I don't get to do my normal or my preferred Black Friday tradition of me and Phantom Jr. going out and running around, going to Record Store Day, which, by the way, hit up needlessthingspodcast.com. I ran down my favorite selections for this year's Record Store Day Black Friday releases. If you don't know, all the record companies and labels and whatever else, lots of independents get together and do this thing where a lot of special releases come out for Black Friday, but only at independent record stores. You can't go to like Best Buy or Barnes & Noble or whatever to get these releases. These are just for independent record stores. And it's really cool and it's fun. And record stores don't get too crazy on Black Friday. So what I tend to like to do is me and my son will hop in the car, we'll go out to the record store, we'll probably hit a couple of regular retail stores if it doesn't look too insane out. And just spend time together and enjoy that frantic holiday atmosphere that only comes around this time of year. And look, I know, you know, everybody's really down on capitalism and really a lot of people are down on Christmas itself. There's a lot of people looking to suck the fun out of life, and you know, it sucks. I really hate that we can't become more enlightened but also still enjoy fun at the same time. But it seems like those two things can't really coexist. But, you know, I like to get out and absorb this atmosphere. I like to hit a couple of malls and see all the decorations and just pick up that energy of enthusiasm of people out and about doing things. I like it. I, for one, like it. And yeah, sure, I do a ton of online shopping, but I still like to get out in the thick of it. And I realized it hit me the other day. I was in an antique store in the area, and this is not like an antique store. Oh, look at this chifforobe we need to refinish. This is one of those places where lots of individuals are leasing, or not leasing, I guess renting booth space for their junk. And the junk ranges anywhere from I cleaned out my attic to I make custom craft things to I order salt and pepper shakers from China and put them on shelves here to sell to people. Like it's a wide-ranging variety of stuff, and it's a cool, you know, place that's not too far away that I'll stop in every once in a while. And there was a lady in there talking about she ran one of the little sections in there. And she was talking about how this time of year she could hardly keep up with her pricing and with stocking her booth because her day job. Because what it is these are all regular folks like you and me who have a surplus of things or things they want to sell or whatever the case may be. But they have this space where they sell stuff in these places. And part of the deal is you go and you maintain it. And one of the ones that I've talked to, because this may shock you, but I have a surplus of stuff. So I've been looking into this recently. But you get your space in there and you go in and I assume there's a cost involved, but also part of it is you go and you work 8 hours a week. The one that I talked to, just helping out in general around the place. And the idea charmed me. And then hearing this lady talk about she works in retail, and it hit me that for the past 15 years, 14 years, since I've been out of retail, I've always missed it. And I'm not going to lie, the money's not good. It's stressful and it's frustrating. And if you're in management, trying to find people who will do the job for the amount that you're paying is very difficult. It's not a tremendously rewarding business, but I do love it. As frustrated as I got with it from time to time, I do think it's my favorite job that I've had as far as the balance of pay and labor goes. My favorite job was working at the Masquerade, but that paid shit. So I can't really say that was great. But retail, I felt like struck as good a balance of pay and job satisfaction as I've ever had. And I've realized part of how I look at the holidays differently now is I no longer get to enjoy that urgency that comes with being in retail at the holidays. I also no longer get to enjoy guaranteed holidays off, but I think a lot of retail workers don't get that anymore. So, maybe I'm lucky I got out when I did, but that momentum that starts, at the beginning of November and carries you all the way through New Year's of preparing constantly, merchandising, getting inventory, talking to customers, trying to fulfill needs. It just grows and grows and grows throughout those last 2 months of the year. And sure, it was tough, but it was also, for years of my life, part of my holidays. And I don't have that anymore. Now it's on me. Before that happened and you get caught up in that momentum and it's holiday time. Now it's very much on me to make these holidays something. And, we do that by decorating the tree, putting up the decorations, and drinking eggnog, but among other things. But I don't have... There's no force of nature propelling me into the holidays anymore. It's all me. And it's weird to look at it this way, but, back then it was going to happen and I got caught up in it, and it was like the seasons changing. Whereas now it's something that I have to put that much more effort into. And that's changed how I enjoy the holidays, I guess. And I obviously still love them. But it's just different. There's not as much energy, I guess, which is why I like to get out among the people, go to the malls, and try and experience, suck a little bit of that energy up for myself. I'm like a Christmas vampire walking around Mall of Georgia, just feeding on other people's excitement and, I suppose, anxiety at the same time. But I hope your holidays are going well. I hope you found a way to celebrate them, and I hope, maybe you can think about finding a middle ground between hating everybody that enjoys Christmas and following along with your own beliefs and thoughts about how things should be. Let's try and find some middle ground there. I think that would be okay, right? So, obviously, not a lot of news this week. It is a holiday week. Not much has been going on. There are new toys hitting yesterday, since I can't go anywhere on Friday. Well, no, I take that back. Since the only place I'm going Friday is work, my son and I went out yesterday, did a little bit of running around, and I found some Star Wars goodies. The Purge Trooper figure that was supposed to be the exclusive that GameStop was bundling with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is now showing up at GameStop. So apparently there was a lot of controversy around this figure. Customers who pre-ordered it didn't necessarily get it, and when they came in to pick up their game, some locations were telling people, oh, well, you just get to pick out any Black Series figure you want, which is pretty lousy. And now the Purge Trooper, which is a very cool figure, by the way. It's a black, looks more like a clone trooper than a stormtrooper to me. But it's got great deco. It's got a soft goods battle kilt, I guess. and a couple of weapons. My son says it's not totally accurate to the game, or not really accurate to the game, but I haven't played it yet, so I don't know. But he's pretty on top of this stuff, so I'll trust him. But regardless, it's a very cool-looking figure. It's hitting your GameStops now. There were 2 at my location. I thought there was only 1, and there was another one tucked away, so I got one for myself and one for my son. And then also the First Order Elite Snowtrooper figure that was originally in the big giant $40 blind box that Target had. It was packed in there along with like a beanie and a bunch of other junk. It was basically like a loot crate, and you had to pay $40 and get all the extra junk to get this Snowtrooper. Well, now the single box Snowtrooper just on its own is hitting Target stores. We saw about 6 of them yesterday, and the only thing is it's $25, but it's got this really nice soft goods hooded cape. If you remember the first trailer for Rise of Skywalker, it had a troop of these, or a squadron of these guys walking around, and they have these really cool cape that has like a lining and is sewn a very specific way, and the hood goes up. Tremendous. It's a great figure. And hitting Target now. I highly recommend it. But if you're not averse to a bunch of extra junk, I'd say go ahead and buy the loot box, or whatever it's called, version, because the figure's $25. For $15 more, you get the beanie and whatever other junk they've thrown in there. It's probably worth your while to just grab that one. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to find those things marked down at some point, because they don't seem to be selling particularly well. Another thing that was brought to my attention, and you'll notice this is pretty Star Wars heavy, and there's a good reason for that. 2 weeks from now, or actually, no, wait, next week, we will have an episode with our head of research, Ryan Schweck, talking about everything Star Wars that's been going on for the past couple of months. We recorded it the other night. We had a lot of fun talking, and we're going to get into a little more detail about Star Wars Black Series figures. So heading into December, Needless Things is going to have a lot of Star Wars features. Be sure you're following Needless Things Podcast on Instagram, Phantom Troublemaker on Instagram, and join the Needless Things Podcast Facebook group. We're going to have a lot of Star Wars fun coming up in December. And then finally, though, as far as being out running around today, if you're looking for stuff, if you have the horrible misfortune to end up in a Walmart, go check out their music section, because there are special 7-inch releases of a couple of Star Wars records. One of them has the Star Wars theme and Cantina Band, which, if you know, is actually Mad About Me by Figure and Dan and the Modal Nodes, but that's not acknowledged in current canon, but apparently is still what it's called. But it was labeled Cantina Band because that was the name of the track on the original album. Anyway, it's a 7-inch red vinyl with those 2 songs on it. And then there's another release that's kind of like the Imperial release that has the Imperial March, and I can't remember what the B-side on that one is because I haven't found that one yet. But they're neat little releases. They're $10 or $12, which is a little pricey for a 7-inch, but at the same time, what a neat little collector's item to have. And I like being able to just throw those on and hear those songs on vinyl, because there's a different listening experience for vinyl. So there you go. There's some holiday thoughts. There's some Star Wars thoughts. That's what you get for an intro today. Now, you may be wondering, Dave, what are you introducing? What I'm introducing today is a very special sit-down conversation that I had with Ryan Cadaver and Kevin Slayfield, the creators of Joe Stryker, an incredible movie that I was a part of, that I was fortunate enough to be a part of. I went and shot for one day on this thing and had the best time ever. This is the second time I've gone. I think it's the second time that I've gone and shot with those guys. The first time was for their Phantom Zone music video, and the second was for Joe Stryker. And they're 2 of my favorite days I've ever had. They're very smart, very creative, and they know exactly what they're doing and how to do it. And Joe Stryker is phenomenal. And actually, if you go to, I think it's joestryker.bigcartel.com, you can order Joe Stryker. If you get it today, you get 20% off all of the Joe Stryker merchandise for Black Friday with, I think the code is BF20, but that's just for Black Friday. This is not going to be going on forever, you guys. So jump on it. And even if you miss this Black Friday sale, just go order yourself a copy of Joe Stryker, because it's a lot of fun. It's awesome. And today I talked to those guys about every aspect of creating the concept, making the movie, everything that went on. This is essentially a big old behind-the-scenes interview with two really smart, funny, and talented guys that I'm honored to know, and even more honored that they want to work with me when they do. So you guys are going to have a blast listening to this. If you order Joe Stryker, which you should, you're going to have a blast watching it, and there you go. I hope Thanksgiving was great for everyone. I hope you're heading into December excited for whatever it is you may get excited about. I know, obviously, like I said, Star Wars is really big. The Mandalorian is just chugging along, being the best Star Wars we've gotten in years. And, of course, Christmas itself is right around the corner. I'm mostly done with my shopping. I feel pretty good about that. But I do need to order a couple more copies of Joe Stryker to give to my loved ones. So now, here they are, Ryan and Kevin. Enjoy. You guys ready to talk about Joe Stryker?
Yes.
I'm sitting here with the creators of Joe Stryker, the movie, the 2019 independent action blockbuster, Ryan Cadaver.
What's up?
And Kevin Slayfield.
How's it going?
Now, we're all manly men, and we're going to be talking about a manly man movie. So I believe we need some manly men beverages.
Oh, shit. What is this?
Oh, got something cooler. Oh, shit.
Oh, god damn.
So, ooh.
Alright.
Now, I'm going to recommend just a little.
Yeah.
Just throw the ice on the floor, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that at all.
Pull down that floor.
You guys figure out your own personal serving size. But I will warn you that about 2 shots of this, I felt were very strong when I had it.
Very nice.
But we're going to do a little taste test here.
Seems perfect for
Just to open this thing up.
watching this movie.
I'm going, yeah, that's about as much as I'm for right now. We'll see how this goes. Careful.
Yeah. That's 2 solid goals.
That's just for sipping.
Yeah.
I'm normally a vodka man, so I'm just gonna dabble a little
Well,
bit.
this you're going to be much more aware of what you're drinking.
Yeah.
With this, then let me get that ice.
We'll go
over
back
here.
to a vodka story when we start talking about this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, we
I'm
got a
sure.
solid one.
We have several.
Well, I enjoyed how much of the production of the movie was spent drunken bowling. I mean, that was, to me, pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right, so that's a little taste test here. Just a sip. Don't overdo it.
Holy fuck.
Now, what we're drinking for the listeners is Elijah Craig small batch bourbon. I'm not normally a big fan of bourbon, but this stuff, to me, has an actual flavor to it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just alcohol. It's I dug it. I wouldn't sit and drink a whole glass of it,
No. Well,
but
You'd probably die.
but just a little bit like this, I feel classy.
Yeah.
yeah,
though-
I mean, that's a fancy ass bottle, dude.
Yeah.
Normally we don't purchase stuff that has like a fucking wax seal and shit on it.
Literally, I think the only time I've ever had Elijah Craig is when we played that house party and I got electrocuted.
Oh, yeah, is that the one you threw all over the floor?
Somebody gave it to me. I don't know why, but somebody gave it to me, and we're on stage, and the house current from the fucking shit, like, electrocuted me through my mic cable, And I was holding the bottle of whiskey, trying to be all cool, and I was like, "Look how cool I am! I'm gonna be drinking this whiskey." And I turned it up, and then I went to sing, and it jolted me, and I went ah, and dropped it on the ground, and fucking flopped around. That was pretty embarrassing.
Well, we'll try not to let anybody get electrocuted here tonight.
That'd be rad.
Yeah. So right now we have Joe Stryker playing in the background, and the way we're able to do that is it is currently available to order from, was it Big Cartel, Joe Stryker?
Yeah, it's Joe Stryker, bigcartel.com, right?
BigCartel.JoeStryker.com.
There you go.
Okay. And you can order your very own copy to watch on your own screen, whatever you have at home. And we last night were at the premiere of Joe Stryker, which is how I wanted to see it. Because I was there for one day of shooting. You guys have been working on this. Has been your lives for over a year, right?
I mean, we started working on it pretty hardcore.
We started writing it in December.
Yeah,
we spent 2 months writing it.
That's what I was thinking. It was about this time last year when you were first mentioning something to me about it.
And I think at that time everyone thought we were full of shit.
Yeah,
I can tell you, your dad thought you were full of shit.
Oh, he told me that.
He was telling me that last night.
Yeah.
He was saying, I thought there was no way this was ever going to happen.
Your dad should know better than that.
I was like, do you know your son?
Yeah.
It was going to happen. It wasn't necessarily going to end up this good, but it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that had to be for you guys. It's great that it's getting a good reception. It's great that people you don't even know are interested in seeing it. But once it was done, once it was ready to be sent to the, however the fuck they make Blu-rays.
Yeah. It's a lot harder in 2019 than it probably was a few years ago to make Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Not many people do it anymore.
I'm just probably getting records pressed.
Yeah.
But at that point, you almost had to feel kind of done by then. Anything after the movie's done has to be kind of extra at this point. Sure, it's great people like it, but you did it.
Yeah. It's a mixed bag, because, I've heard a lot of filmmakers, make a movie, and then they're like, man, by the end of it, all the editing and all the time, they're, sick of watching it. And, I literally woke up this morning and started watching it, because I, like it that much. I'm so happy with it that...
Yeah, we've literally, we know every single line in the movie, obviously, because we wrote it, and we spent months editing. We'll go back to the, now we're drinking booze. Obviously, it's our first movie, so we did all the lighting, we wrote it, we directed it, we did the camera work. We shot the whole movie with one camera, which is stupid hard. Had to shoot every scene 3 or 4 times, different angles. We shot all out of order, obviously, because of location. So when we started putting it together, we were like, I really hope this fucking thing actually makes sense, because we shot everything out of order. And I think that's where, since we spent 2 months writing it, we worked together, so we would just write all the time. So we'd go to a scene near the end of the movie and try to make sure it made sense with something in the beginning. And I think us putting all that time in really benefited us, because we shot it over 6 months totally out of order. So there's scenes at the end that we shot that tied with another scene, and the shit all actually pretty much makes sense. And that was the biggest thing, was when we first started really putting it together, we're like, damn, this shit's actually kind of going together.
Yeah, it was crazy when we first started seeing that stuff towards the end of the movie was referencing stuff that happened in the beginning, and we're like, whoa, it's because we wrote it. We actually wrote it. We weren't just let's just see what happens.
And we were learning the software. We basically did everything, and we were learning the software, and we drank a bottle of vodka in an hour one night,
we did. Straight up.
Well, okay, go back to the beginning. The very first scene, like I said, we were learning. We did the sound. Ryan fucking held the boom almost the whole time. So we were learning all that shit. To do external audio, you sync it up with the audio onboard camera. The program will sync the two, and then you delete the onboard audio. Well, the first day of shooting 12 hours, I accidentally had the onboard audio turned off on my camera, so there was nothing to sync the audio to.
Yeah.
So I literally was syncing up to lips. I spent 15 or 20 hours trying to sync the audio. We had all that, and then we edited some other scenes.
We were also a lot worse about running a track the whole time we're shooting.
Yeah.
Because now, like, towards the end of shooting, we'd be like, you know, we would sync up and be like, yo, I'm stopping audio, or you stopping video, and we would time it. But, like, that day, we didn't know what we were doing, so, like, we were just like, oh, we'll start a new audio track. So
there might be 3 audio tracks to 1 video, vice versa.
And it was, like, just fucking insanity.
I realize what you guys just did, what you went through, the amount of effort it took, but you know what you should have done while you were doing that? You should have written a book. I'm not even kidding.
How not to
You
do
probably
shit.
still could.
Yeah, I mean, it's like how to fucking basically force yourself into, like, learning how to make a film.
Yeah.
Like, just figuring it all out.
Yeah, I mean, we were learning every aspect, you know, so it was very challenging. And the next one's going to be cut in half in time, easily.
Yeah.
Towards the end of it, we were way, way quicker.
We were just knocking shit out at the end. Like, effortlessly.
And we would, like, make sure, like, we'd do a take, and we both know humor really good, and we could hear somebody say something, we'd be like, nah, that's not right, and we'd reshoot stuff over and over and over until we got what we thought was good.
Yeah. That's why I think the humor in the movie works, because, like, we could tell at the moment, because, like, just writing a funny line in a piece of paper is not everything. It really depends on the performance and the delivery. And,
well, just the day that I was there, you guys were very much like workshopping live. You were watching who was capable of what, because that's the important thing we got to mention. And we'll go back to the very beginning of how this concept came together. But you know, you're working with your friends.
Yeah,
none of us were really professionals.
Yeah.
You guys seems like you kind of got the idea in your head of, you know what, we know this guy. I could see him doing this. Let's put him in it and see if he's any good. And fortunately, pretty much everybody turned out to be pretty damn good.
Yeah,
we like the fuck.
And that wasn't an accident. Like, when we started writing this, since we knew a lot of these people weren't going to be actors, like Joe, the dialogue is written at that character's level. He's a piece of shit, so he talks like a piece of shit.
And let me just say,
and he's so natural at it. That's what lends. Joe did awesome. Not an actor,
right?
But we wrote it to like,
it's like how actual people talk.
Yeah, we're like, this is how he talks, and we're like, Joe would be perfect. He's a sack of shit like us. He is the character, so he barely has to act. So I think we matched up like our friends really well.
You didn't have him playing like an accountant or something.
Nah.
And that's one of the scenes that got cut, is we tried to have him playing like a normal, like, fancy dress cop,
right.
You know,
he just looked like a
gumshoe hat and
Amish
stuff,
guy.
and he just looked like a weirdo, like Amish, like crazy guy that's like trying really hard to be normal and is clearly not. And we were just like, let's just show that in flashbacks. So that's why that's
voiceover.
Yeah, that's why that's the flashbacks. You see him, but
and so I feel like this movie was basically an excuse to have lots and lots of people tell Joe he looks like shit. I was dying the whole time, because every time he meets a new character, they say, Joe, you look like shit.
That's true. It is kind of like a running gag.
That's what I was wondering, if that was intentional or if it was just, you know, a way of sort of telling the story of how broken down he was, but it definitely came across as a gag.
Yeah, it's both. I mean, because, like, his wife got killed, and he spiraled into depression, started living in a trailer.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's like he looks like shit.
Plus, that's a very 80s thing that movies did.
Yeah.
Like, they would all those movies, there was always, like, some running little joke that they would do. And,
we got a couple of those that kind of...
Some of them we did intentionally, some of them we didn't actually plan, but then it worked out perfectly, like we actually planned it. So.
Yeah, like you were talking to me, like he just noticed the other day, he's like, there's several points in the movie where people are talking about Brimstone, and they're just like, what the fuck is even in this shit? And it's kind of a running gag that goes throughout the whole movie, and that was kind of unplanned. It just kind of happened that way, but it's pretty funny. And, like, you know, Jeff's line when he's talking about it, he's like, oh, it looks like antifreeze. That was, like, improv.
Yeah.
So...
And there's a lot of... It's funny how much continuity there is in the movie. It doesn't feel like a bunch of stuff that was just thrown together. Like, you guys put effort into making it a cohesive story that is also not, like, a chore to watch.
Yeah.
You didn't load it down with exposition. No. This is meant to be a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be a, hey Mom, you got to see this really touching masterpiece I just watched. Like, this is a fun movie you sit down and watch with a bunch of people while you're drinking, have a blast, yell at the screen, and I think it's kind of hard to make that kind of movie because most movies like that we watch were supposed to be real movies that didn't, like Things.
Yeah.
Things, they were trying hard to make a good movie.
They were trying to make it serious as hell.
But you guys wanted that party, fun, exciting experience, and you got it, and it worked. And it's hard.
And it wasn't like wink, wink, Sharknado.
Right. Right. Yeah. And you know what? That's a perfect example because Sharknado was trying to do what you guys did, and they lost the magic of it.
We talked about it, like the humor part. That humor's is really hard to do comedy. It's just really hard to do comedy because it either falls on its ass or it's funny. There's no in between.
Yeah,
and it's all about timing and delivery and shit like that. But when we were writing it, we didn't want Joe. We didn't want it to be like just like you were talking about Sharknado, stupid.
Yeah.
And we both like Leslie Nielsen movies, Airplane, all of his movies. But the dude's a master. It's like, you're not going to do that unless you're Leslie Nielsen because it's going to be dumb as fuck.
Yeah. But Joe is the consummate straight man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this crazy shit's going on around him, but he is a very legitimate, real character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's over the top, and yes, the violence and everything, but he believes in everything that's happening around him, and as a result, while you're watching him, you buy in as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, it's a combination of the scenes, the situations you guys created, and Joe just being that dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, we try very hard to, like, there's a couple things that are, like, way over the top, like him ripping off his disguise as he's back in his clothes. It's so good. It's
and you're waiting for it.
Yeah.
The second time in the club, I was like, oh, I hope they fucking do that again. And there it is.
Yeah.
Like, you guys, you had the feel for what the audience was going to want to see.
Sprinkle a little bit of that, like, over-the-top shit, because it's funny.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we were trying to make, like, an actual real movie. Like, we weren't trying to rely on just, like...
We say that as Alan's balls pop out.
Well, go to that scene. We didn't even know his sack was hanging out.
Meaty brown nugget.
Yeah.
We had no idea, dude. He was like sitting there editing it. It was like, what the fuck?
Well, but on the day of watching, because I was here for the listeners. Well, like I said, we're watching the movie. This is a big fight scene. This is the scene that I was in, which actually I got a question about this for you guys in a second. But in watching this, I was like, there's no way his junk and just hanging out of those shorts, because I was off to the side and he kind of wasn't facing me, but I mean, those shorts were...
Yeah.
They were dangerously low.
Yeah. And there it is, and it's hilarious. And you've got some male nudity.
Yeah.
We asked him about it. He's like, hell no, leave them in there.
Yeah, we were like, do we need to blur these bad boys or what? He's like, no.
So I got my question about this scene. So obviously I was very invested in seeing this portion of the movie. I wanted to know how I came off.
You were awesome.
But I found it an interesting choice to use the shot where Andre's head was moving in and out of my frame constantly.
Goes back to the lines, like a lot of the shit was being ad-libbed.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to shooting with two cameras.
It had to be hard as fuck to match, even if within the scene everybody kind of is on the same page.
Yeah,
it's got to be hard to put together that 3 minutes of a scene.
We spent a couple days.
Yeah, I think that came down to that was the best possible take we had out of the takes we had. And,
and like we do different takes, but then sometimes like some of the talking may not match up with the very next scene.
Yeah.
Or we had another angle and something like somebody was standing in the wrong spot where they weren't before. There's stuff like that.
Or the one where I was fucking standing in the background during...
stuff like that.
Out. Yeah.
But, sometimes you don't I mean, it's like we only had so much shit, so.
All I care about is I just died on film, and I love that.
Oh yeah,
Thank you
Oh,
for
you
that
did amazing.
opportunity.
You fucking.
And for the listeners, if anybody wants to know why I've had a beard since I was like 18, this role will answer that question.
Oh, hell no, man. You were suave.
Yeah,
Oh
it looked
gosh.
pretty badass.
Oof.
You're like,
Man, I do love the fact that every time we've watched this with people and he first pulls out the car phone, like everyone
Huge
just
pop.
lost their shit.
Huge pop.
That and the Scrubs, biggest pops of the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
movie.
yeah. The Scrubs were great.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knew that was coming. And I think even people who don't, and for the listeners who may not know, the Scrubs are Kevin's little twin chihuahuas, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
And they're awesome. And
The crowd like lost their
Oh,
shit.
no.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn.
but I like the fact that when he pulls the car phone out, somebody last night was like, "It's a car phone."
It's so literal. That's hilarious. I didn't hear that. That's funny.
Yeah. There was because I was like right up front to the right, which actually sucked because there was no way to go around the back. So when I got up, I had to walk right in front of the screen. But yeah, somebody like off to the side, it's like, "It's a car phone." It was great.
I think we were looking for like weird phones and like we had to, for story reasons, have him talking in his car a few times.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure it out. And we're like, yeah, I'm gonna get a car phone. And then Nicole's like, well, I found this. She's like, I searched car phone. And a phone that's shaped like a car showed up. And I'm like, order that shit right now. That's hilarious. I'm like, that's funny as shit.
It's
That's
like
insane.
one of the, like, Sports Illustrated. They had, like, a football.
Yeah, the football
phone.
phone. Yeah.
That's kind of like
Which-
what it is.
I didn't give a shit. I've never given a shit about football at all. But when I was a kid, I wanted one of those
Me
football
too.
phones so bad.
Yeah. That and the Mickey Mouse phone.
You mentioned Nicole, and I want to talk a little bit about, because I think they deserve credit, your support at home. Your ladies supporting you for this last year.
Yeah.
While
Kira Nicole had
you've
to put up
been-
with a lot.
Oh,
Pouring
yeah, my
your
wife,
lives
I
into
just
this.
gave her excuse where she could watch shitty girly movies. She's good with that.
Yeah. No, I mean, Nicole's great with it, and she obviously was there a lot and helped with a lot of the effects and everything. And yeah, I mean,
She put a bloody butthole on my head.
that we didn't end up actually
No,
using.
it's okay. I got a
because it
picture of
looked
it. That's what
yeah,
matters.
yeah.
It's
But,
up on Instagram.
Oh yeah, but yeah, no, yeah, it worked out really good. I mean, she's super supportive. Both of them are super supportive and cool, and we're like, fucking down for it.
And
Last night, like, Nicole and me, and I'm sure this dude right here, we're all just kind of emotional, like watching it with all these people, and it was just like, dude, I can't believe this actually happened.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was really drunk, but it's like the movie went by really fast, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
'Cause I've watched a lot of other movies that are half the time, and it seemed like they're twice as long.
yeah,
And I'm like, that was kind of the cool thing. We showed a few of our friends, and they watched the entire movie, and that's
Yeah.
a pretty cool feeling.
yeah.
there's no downtime.
Yeah.
No, it keeps moving.
We trimmed a lot of shit out.
The original cut was like 3 hours or
Oh my
something.
gosh. But you knew what your goal was, and again, you guys being on the same page, working on the whole thing from beginning to end together. It's not like you hired a director to make it. Like,
No.
you did everything.
Yeah.
So the vision was the same all along.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So knowing, just to wrap up the support, like, does it make it easier to do creative things having that support at home? Because I find knowing I've got somebody at home that loves everything that I do and is, wants me to succeed with these things makes a big difference in my motivation. It makes a big difference in
Well, yeah.
my ability to even
I know your thing.
Yeah.
get going.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's awesome. I've dealt with people that do not have that support system, and it obviously sucks for them. And I'm very, very fortunate, we both are, that we, like, have someone that, like, actually gives a shit.
Yeah.
And, like, Kira and Nicole are, like, our biggest fans.
Yeah,
they fucking
they
love this
actually
shit.
love it.
Yeah,
Like,
they love the movie.
Like, and it's like, yeah, we both have women that if they truly, love you and support you, they're going to support what you want to do, even if it's not what they want to do.
Yeah.
So, and they realize that we've dedicated a year of our life. I mean, like, literally, Every night after work, we would work from 5 till midnight.
I would
come over,
go to his house, and we'd work.
And on the editing part, we did that for 2 months. And I mean, both of our chicks are cool, and they realize we like to do a bunch of dumb shit that's like really fun.
Yeah,
like with the band, we do a lot of stuff, so they're used to it.
Yeah,
and it was just fun.
So while you were shooting this, writing this, wrangling people, and actually, you know what? Let's talk about that for a little while, because my least favorite thing in the world is scheduling people to do things.
Oh, God, dude.
And once you get over about 3 people, it really starts to become like you develop anxiety. You start getting fucking headaches just looking at phone numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously you guys don't want to talk about any specific names or anything, but as far as just the dealing with people and the scheduling.
Yeah, no, I think that was probably one of the hardest things, because, like, I mean, once we were, like, getting going on the shooting days, it was just really fun.
Yeah, Ryan did almost all the scheduling.
Yeah, it was like, having that cast page helped a lot, because it kind of kept everyone on the same page. So, like, we had a Facebook cast page that we would communicate with everyone to, and we posted a very clear schedule, and we're like, all I ask is, like, I know, like, nobody's getting paid for this, I know it's a very low budget thing, but like all I ask is like please don't cancel like the day of.
Right.
And for the most part we didn't really have that happen, so like I'm thankful about that. Aside from a couple like little things like that, but most of the time everyone was like down to be in it, and I feel like the sequel, I feel like we're gonna have zero problem getting people to be in it, because this one,
a lot of the scenes only had a few people. Those are easy, but like your scene, we had to coordinate getting the place to shoot,
getting them to open the door.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then, trying to get, anytime trying to get 6, 8, 10 people together and everybody's scheduled to work.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
And those unknowns, like the door not being open.
Well, to be fair, though, if I hadn't been, did I work the night before? Or I don't remember what it was. I couldn't get there as early as everybody else did. So to be fair, like, if I could have been there, when you guys got there, I could have got,
because the guy was there at that point, and then he apparently got raptured,
evaporated.
Yeah, something happened. He just disappeared.
Yeah. Jesus,
I never saw him again.
Or something.
And he even said he's like, I'll be here all day, and just vanished, and nobody knew where he was at.
We just sent Kiefer Sutherland after that guy.
Yeah,
but we're very lucky. We had a lot of awesome friends.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Helped us.
No, yeah,
Super lucky.
Like I said, nobody was getting paid. It was a very low-budget affair. So the fact that people are willing to give up their weekends to shoot, with us, is fucking awesome.
Well, and I think that says a lot about you guys, though, and your attitude and your professionalism, because it may seem funny to say that, but you were very professional the whole time.
Oh, yeah, with shooting, we were serious.
Yeah, but it wasn't... At no point did you guys come across like you were trying to be arrogant filmmaker dudes. No. It was very collaborative.
I think we were called monsters one time. There was or Matt, what was it? It was the first day of shooting, and or we were called psychopaths or something. Somebody was these directors are psychopaths. I don't remember what it was, but it was funny as shit. And Derek's oh, y'all are off to a good start. But somebody did.
Got the buzz going.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that's. For the most part, it was fucking fun.
Yeah.
So talking about locations a little bit, you've got a lot of them in the movie, which I think is part of what makes it so much fun to watch, because a lot of times when you see something that's basically a no-budget feature,
it takes place.
They're two locations, and you
a house
it's
and an attic,
a basement shot from 3 different angles. Maybe if we paint that wall yellow, people will think it's a different place.
Oh yeah,
but you guys legit have a ton of the police station right there. That exterior, that looks great. And even though it's just one still shot, I don't know if you guys fucking got it off the internet or what.
Oh yeah, well we paid for it.
Yeah.
But that's important. Instead of just saying, well, people will get that this is a police station.
No.
Throwing that one shot in there adds so much to these scenes that are very clearly not in a police station.
Yeah,
small
but it's a world of difference, and there are a lot of little things like that where you guys sort of took the time to within the constraints of what you were working with, make it feel more real, make it feel bigger.
Yeah.
How'd you go about finding the locations?
I mean, a lot of it was like we did the Satanic Temple show, and then they were like, basically in exchange for payment, like, you guys want to shoot here, and we're like, hell yeah! So we shot at Safety Wolf. That was really cool. This one.
Yeah, all the police station stuff. That's my wife's work. Is her boss let us shoot there. Her boss's son's in it for a second, and then
he's is he Larry or Terry?
Oh, yes. One of those two. And Ryan's parents have a cabin, so
that's and that did affect the screen. The script writing process was like, we were like, well, we know we can use a cabin. Let's right. The Del Jepson scene was our friend Buck Bennett has like an old house that he's restoring. Like, I mean, it's like from the 1920s or something. Like, it's an old ass house. And right now it's just empty, and he's just like, yeah, you can use it for whatever. So that the whole Del Jepson scene took place at that house in Lula. And then the drug lab was all like at like a wood shop. Yeah. So it's like weird, because if you look too much in the background, you're like, I guess in the back of Sweetwater they're making drugs and dealing with wood.
Also making coffee tables.
They're making tables and shit, I guess.
That was another point where you guys really knew exactly what the audience was gonna want. And there's some spoilers in here. Nothing's going to ruin the movie.
No.
You can't ruin this movie. It's fucking awesome. But if you're listening and you want it to be completely a total surprise, go watch the movie and then come back to this. But during the big climactic scene, you guys have this giant wall of cardboard boxes.
That's from our work.
Behind John.
Oh, yeah.
And
that whole fight scene, you're just like, I'm ready for someone to get
and you
through
guys
that.
even tease it a bunch of times. You're like, is this it? Is he going into the box? Okay. It's like Vince McMahon, like, watching the end of a match. Oh, we got him. No, we didn't. Like, it was so good. And so many little things like that you guys really, obviously, as students of, like, I don't know how to phrase awesome movies.
Yeah.
80s movies. Like,
that helped a lot.
Very
we both
much
watch
new.
it a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, and like that whole sequence from Sweetwater to him fighting on the stair thing with Cliff, and then going to the main fight scene. That was in a wood shop. The last scene is actually outside under an awning thing. So we were trying to make it all visually look, because the original edit is very dissimilar. Lighting,
well, you can tell,
very obvious. So we did a lot in post just to try to make it at least flow like the same color, and darkened it a lot to try to hide the wood. We could not find a warehouse to save our life. We know everybody, bars.
Yeah.
We had 2 bars to shoot at. We could not find just a vacant warehouse.
That's wild.
And people want like $1,000 of rent one, and we're like,
because everything uses a fucking warehouse. You know, it's almost better that you didn't, though, because those last scenes have a unique look to them.
Yeah.
They have a feel of all the movies that we've seen before, but it's not just a warehouse. It's this really interesting, like where Cliff and Joe have their big standoff.
That place looks cool.
Oh yeah, that place is cool.
That looked so great, and it's totally believable that those stairs went down to where. I mean, it worked. It all felt right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just like, if that had all just taken place in a big warehouse, I don't think it would have been as interesting. You probably would have, like, it might have been easier to shoot.
Yeah.
Well, the original thing was just, it would be all dark to where you could barely see anything. So we just basically needed a big open space for the main fight scene, just to make the lighting very dramatic. And we were literally shooting it with just daylight, which is not the most dramatic. It's supposed to be midnight at a club, and we were shooting it essentially outside in the shade, which made it very challenging.
Before we added the music and shit, like, you could literally hear like some birds chirping in the background and shit. It's like, this is the weirdest fight scene ever.
And that's why it's all shot from one side, because you could not turn anywhere. Because
it was an overhang, so if you did turn the camera, you would see that you're outside.
Right, so it made shooting very challenging, because you could only really shoot one way, basically.
But I'm really happy with the way that ending fight scene finally came together. Because the first cut of it, I was like, oh, we're in trouble. And then to now, I'm like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
And we didn't actually get to film the end of the movie. We had
There was a scene that we had to cut. That's why there's the opening narration and the closing narration, which actually I think works because I've been watching a lot of bad 80s movies recently that start and end that way, and I'm like, oh, we nailed it. But yeah, there was the original scene. Joe was going to be leaving the club. He walks out of Sweetwater, and the chief's there with the car, and he's like, Joe, we just cleared the club. We found out what happened. It's like, you were right the whole time. They kind of reconcile, and then he promotes him to Sergeant. Was it Sergeant Stryker?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, he promotes him to Sergeant Stryker, and he's like, because Joe's like, oh, I'm gonna hang up the badge, and he's like, well, how does Sergeant Stryker sound? And then fucking chick comes out that got blown up with a grenade, and she's all like fucked up looking, and she's like, evil never dies, and starts shooting at him. Chief does a tech roll, and we're gonna have like a stunt double that's not him at all, like some like skinny dude like do a roll, and then like it'll cut to the chief down, and he's gonna shoot her, and then he's like, Sergeant Stryker, sounds good, I'm in, and then it was gonna end, and that was the original plan, and we were gonna call the next one Sergeant Stryker, but we've kind of pivoted a little. So.
Yeah, we went back to scheduling things. Just wasn't going to happen, so we were stuck. And there was a bunch of stuff with the car we were supposed to do, but we didn't get to shoot it. Some other scenes, so that's why
dad's car. And
they moved to Ohio, so we weren't able to. So we went with the narration thing just because it lays out the damn movie in the first 30 seconds. So if you don't get the movie, then
you're just
I don't know. You need to be watching Teletubbies. And then it was like, and it used the narrator, so then we closed it with the narrator, and that kind of wraps it up.
Yeah.
And it worked. So
yeah, bookends it. I mean, it's perfect. Yeah. It works perfectly.
It worked good.
Yeah, it was kind of a happy accident, because I like the way it ended now.
I don't want to. Oh man, that's my fault. I can't believe I did that.
Shout out to
I owe everybody a shot of Elijah Craig. So next time you're in the Phantom Zone, I'll hook you up. So, who designed the final boss? I guess without getting too specific.
No, yeah. So I ordered that prosthetic because we kind of had a look we were going for. And, like, a lot of the demon prosthetics were, like, just too, like, Party City, like, over the top, like, didn't look 80s, like an 80s monster. And we were like, no, it needs to be just kind of simplistic, like, devil guy. So I ordered someone from this, like, movie effects site, and it was just, like, just completely plain. You had to, like, assemble the horns and everything yourself. And then me and Nicole both airbrushed it. Like, we spent like a week just like layering it with different shades of green and stuff to tie in with the whole brimstone thing and all that stuff. And then Nicole applied it and then did the black nails on them and all that stuff. So,
well, I mean, it looked good. It was a very cool design.
Yeah,
and
it looked cool with the suit too. Yeah. With the suit that he was wearing, like that just kind of it was kind of a once again happy accident. It just ended up looking really cool together.
Oh yeah, they did a really good job. Looked awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very recognizable that it was something demonic, but it wasn't totally like, oh, that's a demon I've seen before. Like it had a unique look to it, but it also worked. It didn't get mushy.
Yeah.
Like it was distinctive. So like when they went back to the fight scenes or whatever, it didn't look like this green blob. Like it was still distinctive. It was, it was
a lot of that had to do with like the shading under the cheekbones and all that stuff. It kind of just had a cool vibe to it, and that bright green with the black just kind of made it really pop.
Mm-hmm.
So were there any, before you guys started shooting, were there specific scenes or days that you were really looking forward to? Like things that you could see so clearly in your head, you were like, I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the whole thing to a certain extent, but...
yeah, I mean, so the first issue was this, like, the trailer stuff, like the trailer fight scene. And that was just, like, literally, like, I hope we can do
my
this.
sweatpants!
That's such a good line. But that's, like, kind of our first experience with shooting action and, like, filming action, like, kind of getting the feel for it. So by the time we got to your scene at Atlanta Zombie Apocalypse, we were, like, really ready to go.
Dick knife.
So that was probably my favorite.
I'm sorry, I got to turn around so I'm not talking along to the movie.
But yeah, I think that your scene, the drug bust, that was one of the bigger like action ones that that we were really excited to shoot, or I was. What
Oh yeah,
about
it
you?
was the longest one to edit and the most involved. This one was our first day, so it was very exciting. The trailer was full of shit, so we had to rent a U-Haul just to empty it, and it was raining. That side is supposed to open up to give us another 4 feet, but the motor or something worked, so it was way narrow than we were planning.
Yeah.
So that thing's literally, we have like 4 feet of room in the middle, and we were thinking we were going to have 8 or 10 feet, so it made shooting it very challenging, which made it exciting because we had to, solve a problem, which is what we did on every shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of it, we got much better at solving problems.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because we were like, okay, we've run into this. We can figure this out.
We'll instantly know. We're like, yo, this scene, we can shoot this way, put the lights here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did anything occur while you were shooting that kind of, you mentioned before some happy accidents, but did anything turn out to be a little easier than you thought it would be, or maybe something happened where you were like, oh, we can take advantage of this and save time this way, or this worked out better?
I mean, there was like some like scenes we kind of had to do alternate stuff for, like Jimmy Bickert scene. That was originally going to be this whole other elaborate kind of goofy thing where he was it had the same end result where he interrogated a guy and found out where Angela lived, but it had like all these steps before, and we finally were just like, getting this location that is going to require like 3 separate buildings for him to go between to find somebody. It's going to be a nightmare, and finally we simplified it, and I'm actually like really happy. And I don't want to give it away because I feel like
we're going to use our
use that in the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm trying to be careful about what I say. But like it worked out that we didn't use it in this one. But the next movie we're going to use.
Joe Stryker 2 coming in July of 2020.
Oh, now.
I mean,
slow down.
I don't even know what the next movie is going to be exactly. We have an idea, but as far as the name and all that stuff, we've gone back and forth. Mm-hmm. We did originally, funny story. We originally had talked about maybe calling it Stryker Force. And then we found out that's a gay porn from the 80s, so we're going to not do that. I think it's a different kind of
Don't
force.
let that stop you. Oh, and actually, for the listeners, I found this out today when I was trying to show, I said this before we started recording. If you go back and listen to the Corpsewood Manor episode that we did, one of my coworkers, Andy, is on there talking about it, and I wanted to show him the trailer for Joe Stryker today, since he's kind of extended part of the show. He loved it, but I didn't remember that the trailer was on Vimeo.
Yeah.
And not YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm looking on YouTube for Joe Stryker. And for the listeners, if you find Joe Stryker on YouTube, that's not this Joe Stryker. Apparently there's a Joe Stryker web series. So that's not what we're talking about today.
That's just like some different
It's
shit.
from like 2008 or something.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Just if you go looking it up, it's on Vimeo. Mm-hmm. Go check the trailer out, or just order the Blu-ray because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Vimeo is just a lot less of a pain in the ass. Actually, it looks
it's a lot classier.
Looks better too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube's basically a shithole.
It's trash.
Well, we got permission to use all this music, and they flag it immediately if you have any music in there.
And you have to go prove.
And we're like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, so, Vimeo didn't.
And they don't compress the fuck out of it, and it doesn't look like trash.
Yeah.
Like, YouTube just compresses the hell out of files, and Vimeo just looks way better.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, on the technical side of things, but going into this, like before you guys were even shooting, did you have an idea of what was going to be involved with learning, editing, and sound mixing and everything else? Did you kind of know what programs you were going to use?
Well, I mean, I shot 5 music videos for us and edited them, so, I mean, I knew the pride. I mean, I'm not like an editing expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, I obviously had some experience doing all our music videos that we've done the last 4 or 5, but
yeah, he basically taught me how to use.
And I learned along the way. We learned a lot of shortcuts and stuff like that. So. And, like, on the technical side is extremely low budget. I mean, I'm literally using an 8 or 9-year-old DSLR that's not even really a video camera. So,
Well, it looks great.
Yeah, equipment is not, that doesn't matter. People, it really doesn't matter. It's all about the story and the acting. Yeah,
well,
we shot this on,
a portion of it's got to be that finishing process, though, because, it looks good. It's I like how we're sitting here in a slightly blurry car shot, but it mostly looks really, really, it looks like a film.
It's extremely hard to focus because all movies are manual focus, and without getting technical, I have a full frame DSLR, which the depth of field is razor small. So scenes where they're moving, that I learned a lot about, follow focusing and whatnot. Shooting it is very challenging.
Well, it doesn't look. You know how when you go on Amazon and you're like, "Oh, that movie sounds kind of interesting," and then about 30 seconds into it, you're like, "This looks like shit shot on video. I don't think I can even watch this."
A lot of people are shooting movies on iPhones.
This doesn't look like that.
Yeah,
it looks good. Like it has that cinematic look to it. It doesn't have that.
That's because it's got shallow depth of field without getting technical.
Technical's fine.
People with camcorders,
listeners are geniuses.
People with camcorders, they have a very small sensor and small apertures, which means everything is in focus. So you can instantly tell when something's shot with a camcorder or a phone because everything's in focus. But when you watch a movie, the background's usually blurred out to draw your attention to the subject matter. So not everything's in focus. Because if everything's in focus, it's very distracting.
Yeah. It never... I was aware of the difference, but I didn't know what the difference was. That's fascinating.
It's very subtle. It doesn't have to be massively blurry, but if everything's in focus, it's not drawing your attention to the,
Right. To what you're supposed to be looking at.
So
he explained that to me because, I was kind of talking to him about that, and I was just like, why is it such a big difference, to use, a really nice phone camera, but you can still tell it's a phone camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and he was basically saying it's because everything's in focus, and it's it doesn't have that cinematic look. It's distracting. In fact, even some of the driving and stuff in the green screen, that was footage shot with my phone, and it looks fucking wacky. But we're just it's perfect.
No, it's fine. It's great. It's great.
I love it.
Well, it's like watching when you would watch old Doctor Who. They shot interior scenes with video. Exterior scenes were film.
Yeah.
And you can sit there within the same fucking episode.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And I've never, I'm like I said, I was aware of the difference, and I didn't know what it was, though. And that was that clarity. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. All right, so let's talk about this guy. Did you have any idea? Now, obviously, nobody's stealing the movie from Joe.
Yeah.
But did you have any idea that
it was that good?
Yeah.
So he is he's been a friend of ours forever.
Years.
Years.
We shot a music video in his house. The house show he got electrocuted was in his house.
At his house, yeah. So we've been friends with Jimmy for a long time.
And this is Jimmy Harper.
Jimmy Harper.
Playing
Angelo.
Yeah. Just Angelo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember if he had a last name or not.
No.
I did like the different pronunciations of Valencia.
Yeah, Valencio. It's different every time. Yeah, Joe did that. That was funny as shit. We're let's just keep that going. He did it once, and then we're let's just keep it going. It's funny. But no, every single person that has seen this movie has been holy shit, that guy is just next level. And what's funny is he wasn't even we knew we were gonna work with him, and because he's an actor, he does stuff in South Carolina, he's a great dude, so we knew we wanted to work with him, but that wasn't necessarily the role we had in mind for him at first, because he's a big dude with tattoos.
Yeah, the guy's 6'5", 250 pounds. He's a beast,
right? And he looks like he's got fucking tattoos going up to his chin. He looks like a heavy. He does not look like this goofy motherfucker.
Originally, it was supposed to be Derek, but because of his living situation, living in Ohio, it wasn't going to work out for as much time as we need.
And being a big rock and roll star.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that was the original. That's who originally we wanted to do it, but it didn't work out. And
we are gonna use. I think we're gonna use Jimmy Harper as Jimmy Bickert's role.
Yeah.
Originally. But yeah, no, everyone, my dad, my dad has been like talking to me nonstop about like, oh my god, Angela is the funniest shit. He's like, I literally fast forward my Blu-ray and watch all the scenes.
Well, yeah, and originally the one montage was supposed to be Razor doing it, but he was so damn good. We're like, we need to put him in this movie way more.
Yeah,
So
after his first day of shooting, we're like, okay, you just made it into every scene we can possibly put you in because he's just so good. And he really, it's weird because he's such a big part of the movie, but he doesn't show up till like 30 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a while.
That's because originally he was just like supposed to be a tiny
just like a
little
goon, yeah.
part. But then we're like, yeah, we need to throw him in every damn scene with Dominic that we can.
Yeah.
So
I really loved that Joe sees Angelo. He's in the same room as Angelo.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
And later is looking for Angelo with that drawing. Now, where did the drawing come from?
He drew that. It's kind of ridiculous, but basically, you describe what Angelo looks like.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
just draws a picture of what he thinks he looks like and gives it to Bobby Nash, and then Bobby Nash runs it through his computer. That's how science works.
Kudos to award-winning Bobby Nash.
He was awesome.
For being the perfect Goonie.
Yeah.
You're coming to the anniversary, right?
He's fuck no.
but see, originally Angelo wasn't even supposed to be in that scene
He
where he
wasn't.
sees him. But
Yeah.
we were like, we're gonna put him in every scene.
Because he's
Yeah.
just
So
great.
when we
Yeah.
originally wrote it, he wasn't even supposed to be there. But it just so happened to work out because they never say his name. So
Yeah, his name is never said
Love
at
it.
any point. So, like, he doesn't know that that's Angelo. He knows he's looking for a guy with a scar. But, I mean...
Now, where did that jacket come from?
he bought
he
it.
bought it. Like,
He showed up when that
he
shit.
showed up to shooting with the hat. Like, I think I told him to get the Zubaz, but everything else was his choice, 100%.
The little lisp he does.
yeah,
it's
dude.
everything. That's just him.
It's
It's such a bold
amazing. It's
choice.
well, and it's a full character. You get him immediately.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
You might
And-
see him again.
It's funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you will.
Just a little
He
bit.
better still have that tattoo.
Oh, yeah, the new tattoo.
So, at what point did you decide that Dale Jepson was going to be a part of this? Because I feel like when you were first putting this together, I don't know if. Well, no, yeah. You'd already done the first Martup Fest, and
Yeah.
it was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
we did
was
2 of them.
Yeah.
was there always going to be a Dale Jepson scene, or did that kind of
Yeah.
get added?
Yeah,
Okay.
there was always going to be one. Originally, it had everyone, but then like Cliff couldn't be there, and Derek couldn't be there, and it just kind of got convoluted. So we simplified it to just us. And Bradley was so good. You need to definitely watch this scene again since you were getting. a
Oh
drink.
yeah, I will.
This scene is one of my favorites.
I was getting one beer for about 20 minutes.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I saw you walk over there, and I was like, "Damn, this is taking a while."
I think, honestly, I think it works better with it just being a few dudes.
Yeah, I do too.
I really like, because to me, that makes Dale stand out more as kind of. He seems like a more special character as
Yeah.
opposed to just this group of who are these guys. Like
Yeah.
it's more obvious that he's something significant.
Yeah.
And I also
He's
like
like-
the blow in your mustache earlier.
Oh yeah. Oh, I accidentally actually did a line of that fucking baby powder or whatever it was, and I was like,
gosh.
like, it hurt.
Oh.
Yeah. I was trying to fake do it, and then some of it actually ended up going up my nose. So.
That's tremendous.
And that head you can currently buy on our Big Cartel.
Oh, the head's still available?
Yeah, it's still there.
If you need a severed Bobby Cox head,
Yeah.
that's Bobby Cox, right?
Yeah. Beautiful Bobby Cox.
Then
Yeah.
Big Cartel.
You can see Joe's totally laughing, and that's
Oh, yeah.
it's fine.
Oh, Dale Jepson taken down by a tomahawk. No more appropriate demise
Yeah,
has
oh,
ever
yeah.
been filmed in the history of cinema.
That was pretty much decided immediately, I think.
When it came down to the physical stuff, because obviously there are a lot of fight scenes in this movie. How hard is that? Like, how tough is it to put together a because first you have to film it. First you have to get people who are capable of looking. Like, it's hard to find someone who looks like they're throwing a punch that isn't throwing a punch. without making contact. So
Joe made contact a few times.
I mean, Joe just slammed Gimpy's face in my dad's car and dented the car with his forehead.
That
Oh,
sound
shit.
effect's real.
Like, yo, Joe, calm down there, bud.
Oh, that actually made me really nervous. Towards the beginning. No, it was the beginning of the movie. You or your character is outside waiting for Joe. Joe pulls up in the car and he's in kind of a narrow alley type thing, and he opens the door. And I was like, if he scrapes that door on that brick,
Oh, no.
I was sitting there watching it like, oh.
Well, originally we filmed that scene with our other buddy, but it didn't end up working out. So I'm not actually in the alley. I'm standing next to the car wash in my apartment complex. So I was literally
pretty awesome that nobody's really noticed.
No, that was literally in my apartment complex. I was talking to nobody.
I was filming it.
And then we ended up making it work.
It worked. It absolutely worked.
Yeah.
And it's, again, you go into this movie looking to have fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not like looking to analyze it.
I don't think those two guys are in the same place.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Hey, that one guy looks just like the other guy.
right.
Yeah.
Like if you're going in like that, maybe you need to watch like
anything else.
Yeah, Citizen
Definitely
Kane
not
or
this.
something.
Yeah.
But getting the fight scene shot is one thing. Finding the people who can look like they're being physical and shooting the right angles so that the action looks good. But then you've got to go back and edit together a convincing-looking fight scene, like the scene between Joe and Alan.
Yeah.
That look. I mean, it looks good. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but it doesn't look incompetent in any way.
Yeah.
Like, what did you find that to be kind of frustrating trying to put that stuff together, or did it?
It's just time consuming.
Yeah.
We try to pick the right things, but for every minute of footage, we probably spent 2 hours editing for every minute of film.
Easy.
And that, but the fight scenes that we learned, we did watch some YouTube videos, and obviously you don't show the fight from the side because you're not gonna, so you shoot over the shoulder, and you can have, that goes back to the camera. If you're far enough away with a zoom lens, it compresses people, and they could be 2 feet away from them. It looks like they're right on their face, but I think the thing we learned in this one is you have to actually throw the punches full speed. We had a lot of footage where we were like slow-mo, and it's like, so you could speed up film a little bit,
but not too much,
or something. Like most Jackie Chan movies are sped up 20% or something, but so I think we did learn a lot. It's challenging doing action stuff.
Also, shout out to John McCullum, because that last fight scene, we had an outline of how it was going to start in the middle and the end. But he's like, all right, now I'll do a backbreaker. And he was like, literally,
that backbreaker was tremendous.
It was
we just
awesome.
Let that guy go, man. He's amazing.
Yeah,
He's
we were
amazing
just like, dude, you guys just go and we'll just film
Well,
it.
and it looked great. The contact and everything was really good.
Joe worked
sound
really well together.
Yeah, him and Joe were really. Joe's good at selling all of the ass beating. Yeah, it was really good.
And all these guys are just like, let's just do it. They don't give a fuck if they get hurt. They're like, let's just do it.
Yeah, everyone we worked with was seriously just like, fuck it. Let's go. I'm down for anything.
Yeah, I definitely, when I was doing whatever, I was more concerned about it looking good.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Yeah, but you're so good, man. We knew right away. We already had your character just from the Dale Jepson stuff. That's why you're named the same guy in it. We're like, the character, the Bobby Q is so damn good. We're like, and you're so good. We're like, we can just let him go.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. There's a tier of how much we actually would have to write lines for people, and people like you, where we would just give you an outline and you would just be like, go, because you were so good.
Well, it's not even that. It's you knew that I knew the character.
Yeah,
would get across whatever it was.
You also notice on that scene, the longest parts without edits, without cuts, is parts that you're doing, because you could do. You could do a big chunk of dialogue without us needing to cut.
Right.
Which, and that's
from years of not shutting the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, it's really paid off.
It paid off for Joe Stryker.
Oh yeah.
The hardest part was just picking which one of your takes, because they're all so damn good.
Yeah.
So, enough about me being awesome. You guys, going back to you guys being awesome, did you, what time frame wise, and we've got a few more minutes here and we'll wrap this thing up, and I want to get some final thoughts from you guys. But time frame wise, did you kind of have an idea of how long this was going to take? Did you plan it out? Because it really does seem like your planning process was far more thorough than a lot of people's. I feel like you guys had a really good grasp. You know, you said you learned a lot along the way, but as far as having an outline, it seemed like you really knew what you were doing.
We definitely had a time schedule, and we weren't that far off. We thought we were going to finish in August. We actually finished, when was the Sweetwater thing? Like June? Or
Yeah.
That was actually one of the last real days of shooting, but then we ran into an issue to where we could not get a few scenes shot.
Yeah.
And it took another 5 weeks or something to actually get them shot.
Out of our hands.
So that pushed it a good month. And then just editing it, and we just really, we weren't going to put it out until we were happy.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you had a release date that you just.
No, but as far as shooting, like I mean, I think we did really good.
The shooting schedule was exact.
We pretty much
nailed it.
Stayed right on. It's just,
we were like, it was like, what, 16 days?
Yeah, 16 days.
16 days of shooting. And then it was like, very clearly stated in that, it's like after that we will have like these couple of days for like pickup shots and like reshoots and whatever. And there really wasn't any reshoots. It was more just like, we didn't get him walking out of this place. Or like little shit like that, you know, that we needed to get. It was like little shit.
That's what we learned on the most on this one. And that goes back to having one camera and doing everything yourself is we're going to get a lot more transition shots. And that's one thing we definitely learned. And that's why we had to use stock footage.
Yeah.
And it works. I mean, you just show a thing of a picture of a police and you know when he's at the police station, even though it's a lawn care place that has a...
I mean, if you do a second one, when you do a second one,
we're going to do a second one.
You could almost have,
for sure,
another.
And Angela,
I don't want to say another crew, another person getting B-roll and stuff, like getting those kinds of like fill. Because that's what when Wilson was shooting Troublemaker, he had another guy just wandering around Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Just getting shots to use in between other things.
And, we didn't have that. And, like, when you're editing, we're like, well, it'd be really cool to have something to go to just put two edits together. But
there's a few times we ran into some trouble. But we always ended up making it work. But there was a few times we ran into some trouble where we're like, man, it really would have been nice to have a shot of something else to cut to right here. Just something.
We're going to have another camera on the next one.
I mean, just right there, like he's tripping balls, and he gets a text by the guy who talks a lot like me, and then it cuts to like a moon going by, and then it gets back to me like about to shoot him, and that's because the original take of that he tackled like the dog shit out of me. And, like, knocked my head into the ground. But it was like, he knocked me out of the light. He knocked me so hard that, like, I was, like, nowhere in the shot. So, like, we couldn't use it. So, like, I got the shit knocked out of me for nothing. Yeah, so, that's why it cuts to, like, a moon there. And then, you know, like, we ran into little stuff like that. Which, next one we know we'll have more B-roll. We'll be good.
And that was the scene of him tripping out, running around in the woods. I got a big response too.
Yeah,
running back and forth and doing the crawling on all fours.
When we were first doing that, we were like, well, we know what's happening, but like, is everyone else gonna get this? But then Kevin did some really creative shit, like making the colors all tripped out.
The simple thing, we spent a lot of time on that scene, but he added a shit ton of music too. And we were concerned because we're like, we know what's going on. I just added the trippy colors, but then like halfway through it cuts to Joe in the bed again. So then you know that he's still there.
Well, I mean, it worked because you'd already established.
Yeah.
Lou gives him drugs.
Well, yeah,
but Lou in the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Anthony Kiedis giving him the mushrooms. I don't know why that one picture of him just looks to me exactly like Anthony Kiedis, which I'm sure Dan would be thrilled to know.
Yeah.
But you established it. He gave him that, and he's like, I don't fuck with this shit.
Yeah.
And then later on, you know, it's again, you've set something up that pays off later on, and the audience is, in a way, kind of waiting for it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of really solid setup and payoff in this movie.
Thank you. That means a lot.
So to wrap this thing up, you obviously have some ideas for a follow-up. We're not going to talk about them now, but what I'm wondering is, has it occurred to you guys what an amazing resume this is?
It's like, even last night, it was kind of just weird. It's like, it's just kind of sinking in because we've been so close to it. It's like, actually watching it, we're like, holy shit, man.
This is the kind of thing that gets people studio projects.
Yeah.
I mean, it 100% is, and it's not about anything but the fact, just the fact that you did it. That you have a product that you've put out is so much more than so many people out in Hollywood right now have accomplished at all.
Yeah.
I think it's a hell of an amazing thing, and that if you were to hand this to somebody, they'd be more than willing to throw money at you to do something. I'm
That'd be
dead serious.
Badass.
Yeah, I mean, as far for me, I just did because we were just like, did these music videos, we're like, let's fucking make a movie. And that's the extent of, I have, no big aspirations, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, let's make a movie. We were both like, let's make a movie. So, I'm cool that we made a movie and that people actually enjoy it because you're putting something out there that wasn't there. In this environment nowadays, everybody's so fucking harsh to everybody and critical of everything. The very first time we posted a fucking poster, you can see the tip of the plastic gun, and some jerk-off's like, yo, that's a fake gun. I was like, no shit, it's a movie. It's all fake.
Yeah.
We literally just cussed the guy out. That's our PR.
That's our marketing.
Yeah, we're
technique.
like, go fuck yourself.
It's in line with the movie, you know? It's just like, yo, shit stack, fuck off.
Yeah,
man.
but it's like, that's how people are now, and we didn't want to make a movie like that. It's clearly fake. It's like, but people, I don't know.
I think people sense how genuine it is and how fun it is.
Well, and also it defies that sort of person. Anybody looking to criticize it in that way is just running into a wall. Because this movie's Teflon for that.
That was the only guy. So far, everybody's loved it, which has just been, that's the most reward for me, at least, that people actually like something that me and Ryan made.
It's fucking awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like blowing us away. We were at the premiere, and everybody's actually watching it, and we're like,
yeah, nobody
dude, my heart was racing. I was just like, oh my God, we're actually showing this thing?
It went by so quick, too.
Yeah.
5 years from now, when you guys are talking to, Jimmy Kimmel and Mark Maron and shit, just tell them Dave said hi.
I will. They'll be like, what the fuck? And I'll be like, no, it's Dave. It's cool.
Oh, dude, we just did that new Steven Seagal. You know, the one he's in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be in the next movie. A fucking fat old white martial artist. Give me that, and I'll be happy. So to wrap things up, obviously it was a rewarding experience for you guys. It was difficult, and you learned a lot, but
it was more good than bad.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And it seems that way, which is, again, it goes back to your planning and your vision. Do you have sort of final thoughts about the project? I mean, obviously you're very proud of it, but is there anything sort of specific that you want to point out, that you want to put over?
We made this movie with $0, old-ass equipment, two $70 LED lights, and a bunch of friends. So, pretty damn proud what we were able to achieve with literally no equipment, no experience. And we've had a lot of people watch it, and they're like, well, shit, it looks like you actually had all that stuff. And we had none of that, so we got really creative, and I'm just really proud of what we've done with literally nothing. And all of our badass friends that helped us out.
I just feel incredibly lucky that we have so many awesome friends, and I have Kevin as a great friend, and I'm just surrounded by so many creative people, and I'm just blown away by this movie. Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch this forever.
Plus, we got to get drunk every time we shot.
That was awesome.
And we got to hang out with our friends and get drunk and make a movie, so yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, and I think at the end of the day, the message, though, is if you believe in something and you want to do something, fucking do it.
Do you know how many people, even last night, were like coming up to me, like people that have been seeing these posts for like months and months, and they're like, "Wait, this is like a full-length movie?" And I'm like, "Yes, motherfucker, yes." The fuck? It's just like people are just like blown away that we actually made a movie. I'm like, did everyone think we were just fucking around? Like, you know, we aren't ones to like just like say we're gonna do some shit and not do it.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was just, I don't know, it was just funny.
We're really excited to work on the next one.
Oh hell yeah!
We already got most of one already roughed out.
Yeah.
And the stuff we learned in this one is we already know it's gonna be 5 or 10 times better, and we can't wait to get on it.
Yeah.
Now, being creative, though,
Yeah.
being creative and having ideas and stuff, have you guys come up with anything that's not Joe Stryker?
Oh, like every day. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just movies. I mean, it was like me and Kevin are involved in a lot of shit. So, like, yeah, we're already talking about, you know, different recording projects, you know, maybe even a future band that's different, a totally different thing. We have plans for like a few music videos for the new folklore stuff. So there's a lot in the. I mean, as far as movies right now, we're gonna focus on some sort of spinoff, follow up. You know, I don't want to be too.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be what people think. Probably. It's gonna be,
Yeah,
You gotta leave it at that. Striker while the iron's hot.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, guys, thank you for coming out to the Phantom Zone and talking about Joe Stryker, and thank you for this scene. This is actually the scene I wanted to talk about at the beginning, and it's a perfect place to wrap this thing up. When it came on last night, I was like, this is hilarious. And then I was like, wow, this is really going on a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, this is hilarious again.
It just stays funny.
And I was like, fuck, it's still going? Okay, it's hilarious again. Like, you went through, you know how in Star Trek when they go to warp drive, it kind of goes, foo, foo, foo.
Yeah.
Like, you did the warp drive of comedic montages where you broke the barrier, like, 3 times in one scene.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of decided right away, we're using this whole song because it fucking rules, and it's Snakebite band from Germany, and like all those movies that did montages, they use an entire song.
That was Ryan with the stick.
Also, if you look closely when he's doing the one-arm push-ups, it's me.
Is that okay? Yeah, I saw the arm.
It's very intentional.
But it's hilarious. I mean, it's not. There's no effort being made to hide that arm or anything. It's great.
In fact, he didn't even need the arm. It was just funny.
Of course he did.
Yeah,
It's Joe fucking Stryker.
Joe Stryker.
All right. Well, thank you guys. This movie's incredible. Everybody, please go to bigcartel.joestryker.com. Order yourself a copy before they're gone.
We already sold out.
They're gone?
You get the second run.
We sold all of them.
Oh,
we have
shit.
one. Well, we have one left. We're gonna order some more.
So yeah, they'll be back in stock soon. So I guess are they back to pre-orders now, or are you waiting till you get more stock in?
I mean, at this point, they're just orders. Like we'll get them in quick. They're pretty fast.
Okay, cool.
So we'll and especially since we've already done it from them. I mean, did this place like whenever we sent the order in, it was like 24 hours later. They're like, all right, they're done.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was like
so. Yeah, listeners, you can get them for Christmas. These are the perfect Christmas gift for Granny, for Aunt Mabel, for good old Pappy. Send them a copy of Joe Stryker. Have a Stryker Christmas.
Damn, that needs to be in the movie.
I think Angela saves Christmas. That's the
yeah.
Oh, here he is! Look at Scott.
Scott was great. Yeah, he's just all twitchy.
Look at those hands,
and everyone lost their shit at Dan's line. He's like, "You need the fuck out of here." Nathan was really good too.
All right. Well, this isn't the Joe Stryker needless commentary. We'll do that another time. So, you guys, thank you, and listeners, like I said, go buy this movie. It's amazing.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us
and being in it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. It was fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I could be wrong here, and don't take this as gospel, but there were a couple of moments during that interview where a couple of specific things got brought up, and the guys got that same gleam in their eye. If you've got a kid, and you've ever had your kid bring you a present, and they know what the present is, and they want to tell you what the present is so bad, but they know you're not supposed to talk about what the present is until the present's opened, and the kid gets that certain aura, that certain gleam in their eye. There were a couple of moments during that interview when things got brought up, and Ryan and Kevin both got that little gleam in their eye, and perhaps even exchanged a subtle, knowing glance. So I think lots of exciting things are coming as far as the Strykerverse is concerned. There is no Strykerverse. I just totally made that up. But at the same time, why not? Here's the thought I had. I can't share it. I can't say it. I can't even say it. So much stuff might be under wraps. I'm just going to tell you guys to stay tuned to the Joe Stryker movie page on Facebook. Obviously, stay tuned to Needless Things, needlessthingspodcast.com for toy reviews and news and all kinds of pop culture stuff. Every single Friday, a new episode of the Needless Things podcast drops, and I have already got all of the December episodes are planned. A couple of them are already recorded, and our needless commentary in December is going to blow your mind. Maybe it won't. Maybe you'll go, oh gosh. But aren't those the best kind sometimes? The ones where you go, those tend to be good ones, don't they? Admit it. Those are good. All right, you guys. Happy holidays. Get your shit together and enjoy things. I love you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Needless Things podcast. You're the best. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Downcast, or in the ears of a Trader Vic's employee. Love you. Mean it. Uh-huh.